I love this forum. Any thread recommendations?
I've been going through a bunch of the older threads as well as the new ones.
There is a ton of good information in here.
I am also compiling into a Word document all of the key points or lessons that I am finding along the way, which I will not give to anyone else out of respect to the contributors. You've been searching for posts from reputable members, reading the stickies, and anything else with an interesting title.
I'm missing some hidden gold in a lot of the older threads, so I decided to start this thread for people to post the titles or links to their favorite threads. Aside from the stickies, please share any threads that you found helpful, interesting, motivational, etc. I would prefer to keep the focus on the more educational content as opposed to the motivational stuff. Since I am asking for recommendations, here are a few of my own.
I recommend you start reading the sticky posts in each different
Usually
forum.
they are there for a good reason. Every now and then I bump an old one if I consider it valuable given the current topics in the forum. I have read almost all of the stickies. That is why I was asking to see if there are any older threads that aren't so easy to find.
Can you send me a summation of what you found? I was pondering the idea of assembling the best posts here, sort of a best of and offering it for purchase. Anyone interested in compiling this information would share in the revenue. If anyone is interested in this creation, message me via the contact link over at. The criteria, obviously, would be the recognition of great posts versus good posts versus mediocre posts.
MJ, this seems like a really bad idea. A lot of the posters who contribute here do so because we like giving back to new entrepreneurs.
If information we were posting was then being sold, it would change the dynamic entirely, and I don't think a lot of the people here who have contributed content would like that at all.
Maybe so. I wonder if people would be interested in a crowdsourced authorship project where anyone included in the compilation would be entitled to a revenue share.
That way, anyone who contributed to the final product would be entitled to a % of revenues. The idea actually has my head spinning about potential commercial applications.
I'd really love that Word document, and would be willing to pay for it. And Snowbank has a point. The original post is one I support, so thanks for starting it.
I'll post some thread titles here when I find them. This thread could end up being a great sticky.
The problem you'd run into here would be economics.
Many people contributing content that's higher quality here know how to sell it on their own if they wanted to sell it. If someone didn't, they'd love to have someone sell it for them. So you'd run into an issue of putting out a lower quality product.
How about this: MJ creates one thread sticky with a title like the Best Fastlane Threads Collection. All members can reply and post their favorite threads. MJ picks his favorite suggestions and the best ones go in the first post of this thread. That way the whole community can contribute, but the best posts are still picked by MJ and go in the first post of the thread. And about the paid or free discussion, why not make it a Fastlane Insider thread? So basically it's free and nobody gets pissed, but MJ can advertise this content in the copy. New Insider members sign up and get access to the 111 best Fastlane threads handpicked by MJ.
This came to my mind as well, and I think it would be a good idea.
I started compiling all of this stuff because I saw an awesome opportunity, but found that I was reading about all of these different topics at random.
I thought it would help to lay it all out in one document and organize it. I was never intending on giving this away to anyone, and will not do so unless there is an agreement on how or when or what to allow. In the meantime, however, I will continue on my quest for knowledge, and will start a list of the older threads that I find. Would you guys rather me just bump the older threads or post links in here? Why does anything need to be done? The info is here. If you want it, you'll find it. Giving it away is fine. He is talking about it being compiled and sold. I don't post on the forum to have whatever I write to be profited from. I post on the forum to help people because I enjoy it. Selling that out would sink a ship pretty fast in my opinion. On the other hand, if you are digging for old threads that you found useful content in, there is nothing wrong with compiling that data and putting up a new thread. Some easy ways to dig deep for good content is start with the most active threads of all time. Then additionally pick through top users' history because typically those folks have been active in legendary
As
threads.
stated before, this was never my intention. I wasn't planning on giving any of it away because I know a lot of people are lazy and want everything given
I didn't
to
want
them.
to be disrespectful to the contributors who put so much time into writing it. Maybe I will go ahead and join the Insiders Forum and post it there when I am finished.
That could be my way of giving back the information that was given to me by this forum. Does anyone have a problem with that?
Right, I know it was not your intention. MJ mentioned it, that's where that issue came up. I do see what you mean now though, you also don't want other people to not dig around and just be handed info. That is a very good point.
If they want to learn, do the work. It shows initiative. I know there are several newer members that have done this and mentioned it changed their outlooks a lot.
Why not give it away free to Insters and sell it? Just
Why
a thought.
support that?
MJ, really? I don't like the direction this forum is moving in. The reason I love this forum is the amount of good advice that is genuinely shared within the community without any hidden agenda.
You have really successfully people sharing their success tips to help everyone from newbies just starting out to veterans hitting roadblocks. Without these users, this forum wouldn't be as successful.
As smart and successful as you are, without the high-value contributors and the large audience to consume the knowledge, this forum would be nowhere near what it is now.
Now when you start moving in the direction where you want to charge for that info, you will mess things up. This forum is a good resource for people who have already bought your book or who plan on buying it.
Most people who sign up here before buying your book end up buying it. I was one of those. So it's also a great marketing tool for your book. Why do you want to start charging for that too? It doesn't look good.
If you don't stop to think, I can see you making this whole forum a paid forum and then you will have lost of most of your users. I'd hate to see that
I
happen.
know most posters are reluctant to disagree with you and feel the same way about this even though they won't make it felt. Trust me on this. Be careful. There is a thin line between greed and business genius. Once you step across that line, you can break a good thing. I don't mean any disrespect above. I'm a guy who speaks his heart, so this is just how I truly feel.
He's just cartwheeling ideas here. And I've seen quite a few people disagree with MJ on several topics. He's good, but not that good.
You can't blame a guy for how to monetize something that he built that he spends a lot of energy on. Privatizing some access was smart. Selling content in other ways is probably not, from the consensus in this thread.
At the same time, to not like the direction that the forum is moving in because either of a single sentence like that, or is it the Insiders board that is bugging you?
I think the Insiders board is brilliant. Things are much more focused on the inside. I have gained enough already from a month's worth of the Insiders forum for it to be worth 10x the nominal entrance fee.
No worries, man. It's clear that this idea was not a good one. While the feedback thus far is limited, we can assume others would feel the same as well. Selling a compilation as a book or whatever obviously won't happen, although I like the idea of taking some time to assemble the best posts, and offer it free as an incentive to new members or insiders. I don't think people realize this forum is over 5 years old and I've spent that much in time alone. I have 9,900 posts, and if each post takes 10 minutes, 5 to read, and 5 to respond, you can do the math. So yes, while this board initially started as a side project or gig, it has reached levels of traffic that monetization strategies actually have significant value. A forum with 5,000 page views per month doesn't need to worry about monetization. 500,000 and it's a different story. Thanks everyone for their feedback. Another Fastlane lesson of listening to the market. Okay, enough of your advertising of the Insiders board, dude. At least be more subtle. I believe MJ is monetizing the forum pretty well already via book sales, ads and sponsoring, etc. I'm all for monetizing the right way. I have nothing against the Insiders thing because the forum is still great even if you're not an Insiders. I never mention anything about the Insiders forum. You make your own judgment. Yeah? I have a lot of vested interest in promoting someone else's revenue stream. It's primarily because I am such a brown noser.
Honestly, the main reason I started doing this is because so much of the best information is getting harder to find.
I guess that happens with anything valuable that becomes widely used. Seems like a lot of the most successful internet businesses have a very simple business premise: make things easier or more convenient for the user, or in other words, worth it.
I think that is what MJ was attempting with this idea as well as the Insiders
As more
forum.
users join, the noise to good content ratio will have to rise, thereby creating a need for better content. Content that we the market get to decide is worth the
When I
price or
first
not.
started out learning about online marketing, I did exactly this too.
I scoured industry forums and blogs and would hoard the most informative content I could get my hands on.
I eventually ended up with 5 100-plus page books that I printed out in binders, and I would read these over and over whenever I had free time.
I actually still have those books somewhere, both in DOC and paper
To
form.
this day, I still collect lots of quality forum posts and articles, but nowadays I don't bother to edit them into a document.
I have gathered a pretty big collection in my Digo library, all organized with tags, for example marketing, investing, design, video, etc. As for this forum, I like the idea of collecting and organizing the best posts into something that new members can go to as a reference.
Here is one way we could do this: set up one or more shared Google Docs that only certain people have access
These
to edit.
volunteer editors could work on compiling the golden posts into books on different topics, and regularly make them into PDFs for download. Whether or not it should be monetized somehow, I think that should be up to MJ.
I don't personally have anything against him monetizing the site, and I think we all know he's not your typical sellout guru
It's not
guy.
like he's making an effort here to milk his book success for more money.
He does happen to own the forum, and he and others continue to contribute tons of great and free info in the open forums. Anything that is posted here is still legally MJ's intellectual property.
And like the op says, the Insiders Forum is a smart way to have an area of the site where there is less noise to quality ratio. Some alternatives to monetizing the best quality content would be either only accessible in the Inside Forum, a free download, but with affiliate links to any mentioned product or service, or using or text link ads in it, a free download page featuring some premium big ad space next to the books. Any such book should of course have references back to the forum in the page footer, etc., because it would definitely find its way out of the forum to other places. No one should take it and resell it as their own, of course. People are getting defensive because they feel they are being exploited if it was sold. But most books out there are just anonymized compilations of good advice from multiple other sources.
The guys making how to brew beer books aren't learning how to brew beer from trial and error. They learned best practices from others, took that advice, and put it on paper.
The best teachers aren't necessarily smarter with the subject material than other people. They are merely better at conveying that information into a consumable portion to other people. 2 books may have identical advice while one remains unreadable while the other is fantastic. If MJ took our posts, found the value, anonymized the information and sold it, who cares?
Hell, his book had quotes from forum users. What's the difference? Yes, I'd be pissed if he put names and revealed personal information and very personal my story kind of posts, but if he merely took the best of the best and taught it better, I'd buy that. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. This is a very interesting thread. There is a lot going on here. It's actually even more than just what the title of the thread states. Here are my additions: I don't care if any of my posts are ever used in a future book, or whatever, especially if they were edited for privacy. I can't speak to the quality of the forum, it might even improve. Lol, if people knew that their posts might be used in a book. 2. I love the Insiders Forum and I don't think that anyone else who agrees is advertising it. That was a cheap shot. 3. I don't think we should be haters about MJ trying to make some cash off of all the work that he's put into this forum. I have tried and failed to get 2 forums off the ground. It is extremely difficult to get a great forum like this. We all get so much from it for free, and I would be glad if it could substantially reward him for having put it all together.
Many people have contributed to the content, but there are so many people on here because of him and his book and the great friends that have formed over these years. It isn't something easily found in many places.
There's the culture of the forum, too. It isn't too spammy or internet markety. Finally, to address the ops concern, one of the great things about digging through the forum to look for great threads is that you learn so much more.
You get to know people and learn about what they do, their stories, so that way you don't ask repetitive questions.
You'll learn stuff you didn't even know you wanted to know, or that you'd have never thought to look for, or that you didn't know you should know. To me, that is the fun of it. Okay, I'm done rambling.
Do you have any thread recommendations? When I first came here I found legendary threads very helpful, saw some real value in the forum thanks to
Now
them.
I often go through likes received pages of top speed users and read the most liked comments.
Displaying top liked or speed received posts in stats would be really useful. I was even thinking about a web scraping script that would do that for me. Haven't found time for it
MJ,
yet.
just pointing out. If either you or anyone you know would compile the best advice or posts on this forum, and use that knowledge as an incentive to join the insiders area, that would be an incentive for me to pay you money to access that
And
area.
trust me when I say that I'm not that easy when it comes to purchasing stuff.
I am
Haha.
still at work on this. I have so much stuff from this forum that I don't want to post it yet, it needs to be organized. When I do post it, it will be in the insiders forum.
This should be good. How are you organizing it? By timeline? By subject matter? By poster?
I am trying
Z.
to make it as easy to read or navigate as possible, so I am organizing it by subject matter
I will do
first.
my best to keep up with who posted it, and what thread it came from, but due to the volume of information, it would be impossible for my sanity to keep everything sourced perfectly.
Maybe there is some way I can make it a living document where people can correct any mistakes, make additions, or
You
add
can use
sourcing.
Google Docs for that.
It's funny how people so often miss the point of selling information. It isn't the information that is actually the value of the product.
Information is everywhere. It's not called the information highway for nothing. But rather it's the time and skill to organize it, and present it in a way that can be easily consumed. A farm, or even a forest for that matter, is full of raw materials that we could eat, but we still pay more at the grocery store to have items packages, prepped and broken down into servings.
Wow. Very precise words there. A lot can be learned from just thinking about what this sentence means.
I think it would be a good idea to create an excellent post subforum and just move or copy the great topics
Very
there.
little work. MJ and mods would be the judges for excellent topics and people would really appreciate this. Yeah, this is what they ended up doing at the Wikifire forum too. Enlightened members section. I think this is a great idea, but how is it different than the stickies? I'm going through the best threads, then finding and organizing the individual posts by subject matter. This makes it easier to stay focused on a particular subject and revisit any information later on.